Hi. I want you to take a deep breath with me. Get cozy. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're doing right now. Just find comfort for a second in your body and let's breathe. In through the nose and out of the mouth. Shall we do that again? In through the nose and out of the mouth. Let's do that one more time, guys. Ready? In through the nose and out of the mouth. I made a post the other day about betrayal and losing a sense of personal power around yourself and your dreams and your goals and your desires and what you can do. Here's the thing, guys. I don't mind sharing my wounds, sharing my process, sharing. I don't mind sharing what I'm going through because I want you to know A, you always have the power to heal, even when you think you don't. And B, you are not alone. You're not alone. Let me know in the comments if you have felt betrayed. Let me know in the comments right now if you felt betrayed before. Betrayal goes so deep, and I was just thinking about how humans have just betrayed each other for so fucking long, right? For years. And like the ultimate betrayal wound, the ultimate betrayal wound is that which separates us from God, because in order to be betrayed, someone has to be the oppressor and someone has to be the victim. And in order to be betrayed, someone has to have power over and someone has to have powerlessness. The thing is, and the hard thing is, this is the hard truth, is that both before the betrayal begins has a choice. So I'm writing this blog about my breakup with Angelo a year ago, and I'm writing it from my perspective of pain that I felt. I'm writing it from the perspective of the victim, but I'm also writing it from the perspective of the power. And like when you get betrayed, you become the victim. You think, feel, say, do things in victim mode. So when Angelo left, there was a part of me that could feel myself slipping back into that victim consciousness. And your 18th chakra, your free will and freedom point, is your heart and your lungs. And your heart and lungs are your freedom organs. And when we get betrayed, these wounds are felt in these spaces. And I recently, actually, my whole life, I have had lung issues, you know? Um, but the but when I really think about healing, the reason I got into healing is because I know I have the power. I know I have the power to change, and I know I have the power to get what I desire, and I know I have the power to help other people do the same thing. And that's why I started healing myself, and that's why I became a healer for others. And when I do those things and I show up as that girl, I'm in my power. And life is life, and I'm a human. And so when, this betrayal wound was opened, because it wasn't, here's the thing, is like this betrayal wound that I have been in and have felt is not Angelo's fault. Like, this is something so deep in my soul that literally had to be ripped open in this way so that it could heal. And I really want you guys to, if you're open and if you're ready and if you're willing to adopt that value and that belief system, because the thing is that shitty stuff happens to us all. More shit, like I say that because we're all human, we're all in this, we're all like, everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes mistakes cost lives, and that is the ultimate betrayal, right? Like losing someone that you love is such a big betrayal, and you feel so betrayed from life, and like there's no words or anything that can make you feel anything else but that grief. Like the heart is so sensitive, my friends. And I think each and every one of us knows this, but truly grasping that feeling in our heart, that can really help us heal betrayal. That can really help us understand that things do happen for a reason. And sometimes our plan is not the divine plan that our soul made. It is not the soul contract that our soul made. And certain things have to play out. There are universal laws. There are universal laws that nobody is exempt from. Nobody is exempt from these laws. From the law of karma, from the law of attraction, from the law of allowance. No one's exempt from these laws. It's when we feel that sense of betrayal, and it's when we feel like we fucked up and we let that betrayal affect our self-worth. We think, well, we must be shit. If shit like this happens to us, I must be worthy of this. I really feel that in healing betrayal, it's so important to activate forgiveness. Like, activate that self forgiveness. Because I know that when I was betrayed, I was mad at them, but like within 30 minutes, I was like, why the fuck did I even make those choices to let that happen? And I was mad at myself. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been mad at yourself after experiencing some type of betrayal. I've betrayed people because hurt people, right? I'm not perfect. I've been the oppressor. I've also been the victim. But the thing is with the 18th chakra is, in order to really activate our free will, in order to activate our choice, in order to activate our freedom on this goddamn loving planet, we have to understand that everything that comes to us was based on choices we made to get where we are. And I know that fucking sucks to have to take that level of radical responsibility. There's a balance to responsibility. You can't take over responsibility, because over responsibility is what creates codependency, which comes from betrayal. Feeling betrayed can make you anxious, can make you avoidant, can make you dependent on others. Think about maybe one of the first times you ever really felt betrayed. One of the very first times I ever felt betrayed was when my dad left when I was 7. I felt so fucking betrayed. So betrayed. Like, and that's really where that wound comes from, is that inner child. And I always talk about this, like the 18th chakra, your free will and freedom point, is super connected to your 24th chakra, your inner child, your creation point. So we are creating our whole entire life from the stories that our inner child holds on to, and those stories affect the choices we make. Because if we're choosing from the wounded, grieving, betrayed inner child, what choices are we going to make? This is why awareness is so important. Awareness is so important. And then changing it is making daily efforts to do something new with the energy. And it takes years. It takes years. It takes energy. It takes investing in stuff. It takes you saying yes to yourself over and 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 not stopping. Like, the thing about betrayal is when we feel the human feelings that we are allowed to feel, because we're allowed to fucking feel them. We're allowed to feel hurt. We're allowed to feel sad. But when we get stuck there, right? When we get stuck there, and when we don't do healing to get out of that place, is when we stay in betrayal. So that's what I have to say about that. And I hope those words resonate, and I hope that feels good. Let's do an activation, okay? So I don't care where you are. If you're in your car, the guides are going to make sure this happens. If you're around kids, the guides are going to make sure this happens. I'm just calling in the benevolent only forces and sources of the universe to please surround this video at this time, activate each and everybody's hearts, activate each and everybody's souls, and we're really healing that victim wound. I'm not the victim anymore. I take back my power from all my oppressors. I am not the victim anymore. I take back my power from all my oppressors. I am not the victim anymore. I forgive my oppressors for betraying me. Oh, I forgive my victim mindset for betraying myself. I forgive. I forgive. I forgive. We're going to activate the 29th chakra, the forgiveness point, and we're activating that through the head down into the heart, creating a loop of forgiveness in the heart. And we're just healing that betrayal. We're letting whatever tears need to flow, whatever grief needs to be felt, whatever sorrow, whatever sadness, let's feel it and let it flow through us and out of us into a golden orb in front of our hearts that is transmuting these human wounds. We're taking out the betrayal wound. Oh. We're taking out the stories that are attached to these wounds and that want to keep these wounds alive. We just let the stories go. Let the stories go. Let the stories go. Let the stories go through the front, through the back, through the sides. We're releasing all the heaviness of the stories that keep our heart from gratitude, from love, from freedom, from prosperity, from money, from cash flow, from freedom, from choice. We release all oppressive cycles in our DNA now. All time, space, dimensions, calling all parts of our power back to us. Calling all parts of our power back to us now. Calling all parts of our power back to us now. Calling all parts of our power back to us now. Oh. Oh. Shoy ne KY. Koi shaking it toy I say nikki take it picking it koi I say shake it toy I sai kiri shake it toy I say kiri toy I gotta tie nikki shake it pick it toy I say soy kini shake it toy I say kiri picking it toy I say kiri toy I hoi say shake it kini toy I say kiri koi I say pick it no aha. Setting in this golden orb through the bottom of the solar plexus, up into the lower heart, through the higher heart. Ooh. We're bringing in the power to heal, the power to choose, the power to receive, the power to have. We're breaking all myths. We're breaking all oppressive belief systems and myths that make us feel inferior to anything in this life, that make us think that anything outside of us has power over us. We release it fully here in the now for all. for all watching this video, for all watching. Source, guide us. Don't let anything block our connections to you. Don't let anything jam our connections to our inner guidance, our inner intuition. Restore the trust. Restore the trust in us. Let us attract trustworthy people because we trust ourselves. Oh, I am choosing to attract trustworthy people in my life because I fully and wholeheartedly trust and forgive myself. I forgive myself for choices that led to my betrayals. I forgive myself. I forgive those who betrayed me when I was an innocent child and did not think about my psyche. I forgive them. And I take back the parts of my psyche that have been affected by this betrayal, by this grief, by this sadness, by this trauma, by this pain. And I am free and I am choosing my freedom. And you are free and you are choosing your freedom now. And feel that in your bones. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your bones. Really feel that. Allow the clear orb. We're placing a clear orb behind the lungs. And we're pushing it in. Fuck what anybody else says. You do not have to betray yourself anymore in order to fit in order to be loved, in order to be seen. You are free to be yourself and get paid for it. You're free to have your desires. All those stories that your inner child holds on to, all those times you didn't get what you wanted, all those times you felt betrayed by life, that life was working against you, that life hated you, that you sucked. Release the belief that that is real. It's not real. It might have happened, but it's not the actual truth and the actual reality of what life is supposed to be for you now. And you can move past this. And you can move forward. And you can find your power again. You can. I know the resistance is strong sometimes. Sometimes we think holding on to those stories, sometimes we think holding on to those memories, sometimes we think holding on is what we need to do. Sometimes we think that because we think that that's the only way the memory will ever live. Or sometimes the betrayal is so deep that we can't get out of the grief and sadness of how it affected us. But your light is there and it's within and it is a choice and you can choose that when you're ready. You don't have to rush yourself. You can stay. You can stay right where you are. But know that that power is there and that you have a choice. That power is there and you have a choice. And you have a voice. And you can use it. I'm so sick and tired of watching myself. This is me. I'm so sick and tired of watching myself know how powerful I am and choose not to use that power out of fear that I'm going to hurt someone else or that I'm going to end up being the oppressor. But I don't have to keep activating this betrayal wound inside me and living it out so that I know for sure that when I'm in power, I'm not going to abuse it. I trust myself to be powerful and not abuse my power. Oh, I trust myself to be powerful and not abuse my power. I trust myself to be myself and get paid for it. And I trust myself to be myself and be loved by another human for it. And I trust myself to be myself and be accepted for it. I trust myself to be myself. We will no longer allow betrayal. We will no longer allow any injustice, any oppression, anything. We will no longer allow that. If we have a choice and we are this free, if I am this free to be on this platform right now, speaking to you, I have my body autonomy, I have my car, I have my house. I can literally do whatever I want within reason that's not going to kill me or hurt another person. And my desires are safe guidance from God, from source, from energy, from my higher self, my truest and deepest desires, my true ones. Like my desire to fucking change the world, my desire to have a talk show on a national network, my desire to host badass retreats, my desire to have 8 people sign up for my program right now, my desire to help you guys, my desire to get paid for that. That is true divine guidance. And I am not going to betray myself by not living that anymore because I'm free enough to choose that. And I watch people on the internet every single day choose that for themselves and do it. And whatever resistance I have in my mind that's telling me it's not real or that I can't have is from the betrayal wound of the time where I really wanted my dad. I really wanted my dad. And I really wanted him there. And I can still get upset about it. And I can still feel it. And I can still feel the grief. And you know what? He wasn't there. He wasn't there when I was a kid. But he's here now. And I can talk to him anytime I want. And I can call him anytime I want. And I can let go of that story. I can. And it's a choice. And I can let go of the abandonment. And at every level, at every layer, it's your core wound. It's your core wound. Whatever your core wound is in your 18th chakra, affecting your ability to choose. If it's grief, if you lost a loved one, that is an ultimate betrayal. Feeling like life took someone you love from you. And that's going to take time to heal. And that's going to take time to forgive. And that's going to take time to come back. But you ultimately can still be free and live a free life and have their spirit live through you with the choices you make. You can make choices that honor them every day. Right? I was telling one of my clients who lost her brother. She's in a business coaching program, a custom business coaching program I created. And I was telling her, I was like, hey, like this is this, you know? We were talking about the loss of her brother and how he was going to be an entrepreneur. And this happened a long time ago, you know? This happened for her almost 10 years ago. And I was like, you got to make that your why. You got to take whatever it is that hurt you and turn it into your why. Whatever it is that betrayed you, like, turn it into your why. Like, I fucking dumb over here decided that I was going to open up my relationship and be in a V and be polyamorous and it was going to be awesome. And I was in no way mature enough or ready to do that. And neither were the people I was going to do that with. And I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed by them. I felt betrayed by myself. I even found a way to blame life. Like, blame is where the inner child, when the inner child feels like the victim to something, that's where blame comes in. That's where blame comes in. Hi. If you're here, let me know if this is landing. I love chakras. I specifically really love the 18th and 24th because they are very potent and powerful, and we are accessing them more and more and using them more and more every day. And the more aware we become of it, the deeper we'll heal. So my why is my kids. First of all, my why is my children, because that little girl inside me that wants the things she wants is going to do whatever it takes to overcome the karma, to overcome the patterns, you know. But when I'm not connected to this part of myself, this willful part of myself that is powerful AF, when I'm not connected to that part of myself because I'm in my betrayal wound and I'm in my grief and I'm in my sadness, I'm not there, you know. And that's okay. And that's okay. But you always have to remember, you're not going to get where you want to be from where you are. You have to just become what you want to be. And if what you want isn't something that we can do. If what you want isn't, um, if what you want can't happen, you know, what is the best case scenario that can happen that will make you feel more free? If it's acceptance, if it's healing, whatever it is, always inch yourself towards the betterment of things. Even if it's fucking baby steps, it's better than nothing. You don't want to stay in the wound because it's just going to fester and eventually it's going to take over you. And that's why I'm not like limiting myself to my feelings, but I'm constantly doing the work on myself to heal. You know, the minute Angelo left and opened that betrayal wound, I was like, okay, here we go. And I remember immediately starting doing energy work on my 18th chakra. You guys, it was crazy. Like when Angelo left with my friend, um it felt like two fucking swords in the front and in the back of my heart. It was so painful. And I know people who experience really deep levels of grief and sadness, you literally physically feel it in your heart. And so when I physically felt it, I immediately started doing energy work on myself. And it's day by day, but it helps, guys. It helps. It treats the wounds, it treats the psyche's wounds. You can transmute it with energy. You can bring in energy. Energy is a real thing, and that's why I teach it. That's why I use it on my clients. That's why I do the things I do, is because I've gotten here today because of energy work, because of chakra work, because of coaching, because of learning all the tools I have to heal these wounds so that they don't fester, so I don't stay in them, you know? And if you're literally done, if you're like so fucking done, and if you're done, that's you come to me when you're ready to be done with the karmic cycle that is plaguing you. You come to me when you're ready to learn something new, take yourself higher, go deeper than ever before, transform your lives, and get catapulted to your next level. And so I have some amazing summer offers. I have some amazing summer offers, and I'm so honored to support you guys, and I'm so honored to have these containers. They're below in the comments. If you want to work with me, send me a DM. Let's do some work together. You can read all about it down there. I think I'm most excited about all of them, really. And they're pretty self-explanatory. We can meet on a Zoom call and talk about them. Thank you for attending my TED Talk today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. Bye.